So let's go back to sharing screen. It was supposed to be on automatic, so I don't know what's happened there. Okay. Right, back to the homepage. So what you'll find is you've got lots going on around here. Hopefully you can see my cursor moving around. So here is your name. This is what's referred to as the handle. This plus button is where you are able to access, where you add in your feed posts, etc. These three little lines here in the top right hand corner are known as burger lines because they represent a burger, and that's where you'll find lots of other information which we're not going to go into today because there's just too much. If you go along the bottom here, this is your home button, so that will always bring you back to home. You've got your search facility here, the little and that's really thrown me, hasn't it? I thought it was recording automatically. You can pop in reels down here as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to go up here to the plus button and we're going to add a feed post because we want to do some practical work. So pressing on there brings up this selection of what you're going to do. So you can add your story from here, but we're going to add a post. So I will click on post. And that brings up a picture. That's just the latest picture from my camera roll. You can see down, you can see down here. Oh, it's not rolling. That there's the camera roll there. So you can find any picture that you wanted from there. So I'm just going to go with this for now. Now, if you wanted to add multiple pictures, you can see this little pocket here, the little sort of pages on top of pages. If you click onto that one, on the phone, of course, it gives you the option to add another picture. So they've added this as number 1, and you could add another one in as number 2 on there. Okay, I'm just going to put the 1 because I think it's just easier to go with that for now. So we're just going to have the 1. Okay. So next is your button at the top right there, and then you'll see all of your filters. If you move that along, loads to choose from. And there are some pages you will find which they are using the same filter for all of their images because they want to keep the aesthetic the same. That is entirely up to you. Of course, you need to remember which one you've used. I'm not good enough at doing that, so I'm just going to send that out as normal, but you've got your filters there. Okay, there are various, you can see there are other things on here. You've got your little wand up the top here, and you can edit down here. So if you want to, I prefer to edit in my photo cache because I find that easier in the camera roll. But if you want to edit at this point, then you can. Okay, so pressing the next button in the top right hand corner gives you the option to write a caption. So I have a written caption here, which is not now coming up. Why is that not coming up? Okay. I was going to show you my lovely text shortener, but I'll have to show you it on something else. So this was supposed to bring up, in fact, I'm going to use for after time-saving devices, you've got your little microphone at the bottom. Having fun, showing my lovely webinar audience some tips and tricks on Instagram. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So you don't need to be spending ages and ages. What I would normally do on one of my captions is try and ask a question, because the more questions you ask, the more likely somebody's actually going to come back and with a response. Because if you're just putting out a statement like I have here, what's anybody got to respond to? So think about the kind of questions that you can ask and make them questions that you need the answers to work out what your customer wants from you. And that's all trying to be a bit more holistic about all of your marketing. You can use these same captions across any of your other platforms as well. So do go ahead and think of the kind of things that you get asked all the time, because there will be certain subjects that are particularly relevant to your business, where you can be finding out what your customer really wants from you. And then you can be really precise about how you deliver that. So what I'm going to do is add on some hashtags. We hear about hashtags and sometimes think, what on earth is all that hashtag nonsense? Think about hashtags as a search facility. It is a way for people to find you. Now, you have the ability to put up to 30 hashtags in a post. And you might think, oh, I can't be bothered to do that. That's a waste of time. But think of each hashtag equals one search. So if you want to turn up in 3 searches, by all means, use 3 hashtags. If you want to show up in 30 searches, then think about using 30 hashtags. Now, you don't want to be thinking, oh, this is going to take me forever. So I'm hoping my text shortener really does work on this occasion, because I've typed in MS Insta, which brings up this whole load of hashtags. So you only need to put them in once. Now, what I would suggest is think about preloading maybe 20 and then have a few floating that are specific to that post. So you need to do a little bit of research on hashtags, and that's easy enough to do. I can show you that in a moment. But think about the kind of hashtags that you think people will find you for. So they've got to be relating to your business. And again, you know, when I mentioned about looking for inspiration about what your competitors might be doing online, it might be worth having a look to see the kind of hashtags they use and see what kind of engagement they've got. Because if they're getting good engagement, then maybe that's the right kind of hashtag for you to be using. The other thing to be aware of with hashtags is that some of them have so many mentions that they're not worth using, because if a hashtag has over 1 million uses, then that's it. Think of it a bit like a running river, that if you put something out and the river is sort of rushing by, you know, yours is not going to be seen in the noise. So think about using the smaller hashtags, and they generally say, rule of thumb, anything less than 1 million is worth using. And you might be wondering, what's she talking about with this million lark? I will show you in a moment. So I think I've got time to do that. Okay, so I've put some hashtags in, and then you probably see a little bit further down, you have the option to tag people. So I'm going to tap on tag, and that brings up the picture again. And simply what you do is you just tap on the picture and that brings up some names, or it will just bring up search. Now, this is just some of the people that I've been most recently interacting with, and that's not just on my own Instagram, it's on a couple of the Instagrams that I run for other people. So I'm just going to pop in a couple there, because they've been working with me. And then you can tag up to 20 people. Be aware though, with tagging, only tag people that are relevant. So don't just go around thinking, oh, I really want to talk to them, so I'm going to tag them, because you could end up annoying them, and that's the last thing you want to be doing. But think about the businesses that are close by to you. Maybe you've got some complementary businesses that you work with already who may like to share your posts, and you will be sharing their posts as well. It's a two-way street. Remember, this is social media, not broadcast. So think about quite carefully about who you're tagging. I mean, I've been doing some work recently with some high street businesses, and they have organizations like a business improvement district, or there's a local chamber of commerce, or, I mean, maybe you have an organization that is specific to your business, or maybe that you're a member of, that might be interested in sharing some of your posts. So do think about the kind of people that you could tag in who might be willing to share your post as well. Now you see the next line down says add a location. So I'm going to tap on there, and Market Harborough is where I am. So that's why that's come up first on the list, but you can just type something in there. And then that is it. And I'm going to press share at the top there where it says share. And then you see it posts. That's just going along the line. Last time I did this, another post dropped in straight away, as it did there. So this is how quickly things move on. Oh, look at that one. So where am I? Goodness me. I've been outrun really, really quickly. So this post will now sit on the feed. So that stays there for all to see unless it gets deleted. Now, it would be lovely if any of you are on and you want to have a little like of that. I was going to say like if you were here. I'll have to do that on my story. So that is where we are with the feed, and thank you. And hopefully somebody will feel that they've found something new out there, and I will show you actually that's what I'm going to do next. I am going to show you the text shortener, because that is a real time saver, particularly with Instagram, because we're looking at these hashtags again and again, and we really don't want to be retyping out all the time. And hashtags you can't really do with your microphone, because they'll try and put spaces in between the words. So, oh, lots of activity. How wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going to come out of Instagram and I'm going to go into, now I'm on an iPhone. I'm not sure exactly where it is on Android, but I'm sure if you follow roughly the same procedure. So I'm going to go into settings, into general, and then I've got keyboard and this one here, text replacement, just at the top. So I was shown this years ago and I never used it because I couldn't remember what letters I'd used, what my shortenings were. And she was thinking about using it in terms of sort of responding to a few messages on text and, to friends. But I hadn't really thought about it in terms of a business sense. So this is where you'll see my MS Insta. So if I click onto that, you'll see I've got my shortcut is the small one. And then the phrase, which I don't know whether it'll let me go all the way. Will it let me go? You can see can be as long as you like. So if you can think that actually, if I put 20 hashtags in there and I've got my little shortener, and because you're using the same one every time, you'll get used to remembering that one. So use that and that will save you a bunch of time. So has anyone heard of text shortener? Does anybody use this already? Do pop it in the on the chat. It'd be great to know if I've shown you a good tip that's worth having. So I'm just going to press save in case it wants to get rid of that. Now, let me see. I thought I had Webby. Yeah. Didn't like that one. Why is that? I'll try it again. So we're next going to go on to stories, because that's what I want to show you next. So along the top line here, you've got the plus button again. So we're going to head to the plus button. And if you see, can you see this one that moves along? Oh, I mustn't do that. I get caught out with it every time. Showing my double chin. Don't really want that. So you can see post, stories, reels, and live. Now we're not going to go into reels and live because that gets a bit tricky. So what I'm going to do is, I think I might just take a quick picture. No, let's do a picture the other way around. And then, oh, it's one of those weird ones. Okay. So I can take a picture that's ready to use. You can take a picture out of your camera roll. You can have a video. Your video can only be 15 seconds long. Or if you're trying to record all in one, you can do up to a minute, but it will put 15-second breaks in. So we've got a whole load of tools on here that I'm going to show you a few of. How we're doing for time. All right. Okay. So if we go along this top line here, you've got your X button. That is X out. Decided you've changed your mind or haven't got time now, or, that's not going to happen. And you can see my Black and Decker box at the bottom. Okay, and then the next one along is the save button. This arrow down, that's save. So think about maybe you're out and about, or you're at an event, or you're doing in the middle of something and you wanted to take some behind the scenes pictures, because stories are brilliant for behind the scenes. You might be too busy in the moment to get on with that, but you've taken a picture. So you could just save it, or even if you started writing something on your picture, you can just press the arrow down and then that will save. And that just saves to your camera roll, so it's there for when you want to use it later. If you go, the next one along is filters. So you'll see all these weird and wacky filters that have come up along the bottom. You see, there are loads of them. So if you're feeling in a really creative mood and you want to play around with that, you know, you can do all sorts of weird things. I must admit, I'm not a big fan of filters because I'm here to tell my business story. So I don't feel that they necessarily work for me, but they might work for you. I mean, I suppose it's eye catching. That's one thing you can say about it. That will catch somebody's eye on the feed. So, you know, think about what you want to use. There are all sorts of different ones out there. See, that does funny things to my eyes, really, but we could use it. We could use it. So, no, it's jumping around. I don't think, oh, should we put makeup on my, I don't know how that's going to work on my laptop. I'm going to go for no filter because I'm quite boring. So we've got a filter. So I'm going to press done. The next one along, this is your link button. Now, I'm guessing that as you're here today for a Get Started with Instagram for Business, you haven't got 10,000 followers. So we're going to ignore that one completely because you can only put a link in your feed if you've got over 10,000 followers. Now, the next one along, this is where the magic happens in my view. These are the engagement stickers. So if you only use 3 of these, use these top 3: location, mention, and hashtag. Your location, because again, it helps you turn up in search. And then, so if somebody is looking for something in, I don't know, we could say Market Harborough because that's where I am. If someone's looking there, then you would turn up in search if you had used that on your story or yeah, on your story. They may not even know about you as a business. They may not know what you do, but you still get the opportunity to turn up because you've used that location. And actually it would be good to know where everybody's from today. So if you could pop in the chat where you are from, that'd be great to know how far we've reached this time. So what you do is simply tap, just a little tap on there. And that, again, it's come up with location. Now, these always drop into the middle of the screen, and you literally put 2 fingers on them like that, and you can move them around, make them smaller. And I'm going to pop that down there out of the way, cover up my Black & Decker box. And then on here, then we've got mention. Now, it's not a bad idea to actually mention yourself, because if you are going to want somebody to tap back to your bio, because if they found your story, it may be that they've just found your story and not your bio. But if you would like them to go back to your bio because you want them to maybe sign up for something, or maybe come and find you on your website, then I would put that there because it makes it easy. They just tap on there and they're back. So let's just do that. There we go. And again, they all land in the middle. Now, I like to put these, because these are not aesthetically pleasing, I tend to put them in a little pile, make them small, and then put a sticker on the top of them. So something a bit more pleasing to the eye will go on there, because otherwise you can end up thinking, crikey, this is all a bit busy. Just thinking, what is that behind me there? Okay. And okay, back to engagement stickers. The other wonderful thing about here is if you look through these, there are a lot. I mean, some of these are purely just sort of GIFs or GIFs, but things like this, support small business. I use this a lot because one of the accounts I look after is about supporting small business. So when you tap on there, it gives you the option to put somebody's name in, and that just brings up a few of their previous feed posts. So you can use that like that. What else have we got on here? We've got questions. Questions are brilliant because then they come, if any answers you get come back into your direct messages, which I haven't got time to cover today, but that's the way you can start talking to people. So it suddenly takes your marketing from one to many to one, and that gives you the opportunity to really speak to your client or future client. So, and then the countdown stickers. If you've got an event on, think about using a countdown sticker. So that's already started. So let's get rid of that. Okay, cancel. And then what else have we got on here? Poll stickers are brilliant because they can, you can encourage your audience to be engaged in the kind of decisions you're making in your business. For example, I heard one where somebody was producing, who was it? It was the content planner. She was producing this content planner, which was like a big book, and they she wanted to have options on the colors that they were using. So she threw out a couple of options so that people could choose, and then her audience felt invested into what they were doing. So if you were having something along those lines, maybe it's a oh, how about flavors of cake, for example? There's me back on the cake again. But thinking back to the bakery situation, you know, if you're thinking, okay, what's going to be my special cake for the weekend? Would you like lemon drizzle or would you like chocolate cake? And then you can see, it gives you an idea of how much you need to make of each as well. So it's worth thinking about for stock control. Okay, so we've got the mention and hashtag. Now you will notice with each of these, I'm just going to be really boring and use my name. You will notice, of course, there's only one hashtag and you're thinking, oh, how do I do some more? So let's do some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go I'm going to skip over the next one, which is the little pen tool, and jump onto the text tool. So I'm going to try this again, see if it will pick up my... It has. I wonder why it didn't pick that up before. So that's my text shortener. And then I don't know how easy that's going to be to see because I've got a lot of different things going on in the background. So if you look along the top line, you'll see you've got alignment, you've got a color wheel, so you can change the color of your text. This will put a block around and this will animate. Not everybody's got the animated one. And this is one thing you need to be aware of. There are constant updates happening to Instagram. So you always need to be making sure that you have the latest update on your phone. So just keep going into the App Store and do an update on there. And sometimes you'll find new things then drop in from the last time you used it. So color, let's go with this one here because I use this quite a lot. Okay. Let's put that. Ooh. Let's put it down here. Okay. So we have got some words on there. I haven't got my hashtags on there yet. So I'm going to go back to my text tool because we could only put one hashtag in the one before. Thank you, Sandy. And you can do a whole load of them. So you literally do, in fact, no, let's do my shortener again. That makes sense, doesn't it? MS Insta space, and they come up. So this has come up using the same color that was last used, but that's going to stand out a bit and it might look a bit messy. So I'm thinking I'm going to put it up there. But what you can do is you can hide it by changing the color. So I'm just going to go back to my color wheel, and this little one down here, can you see these colors that have come up here? This little one here, the color dropper, again, it always lands back in the middle and it just picks up colors from around the page. So I want to put it up here. So I'm going to do that. And again, you see it because it comes in the middle. Press done. And it hops back in and you can't see it anymore. Who thinks that's amazing? I hope somebody thinks that's amazing because I thought that was brilliant when I first found it. So there we go. So I have some writing on here. I've got a little bit of information. The like if you were here, that's my call to action, because really we should have a call to action in all of our posts. I might just pop that. Oh, no, I won't. Hiding those things. And you'll see at the bottom here, it says your stories. Because I have a business account and it is attached to my business Facebook account, it will post to both and you'll see that at the bottom there. You don't have to link them, but it's worth linking. The only thing to remember, I would say, is that when you link them and you use handles, the @ and the name, that handle might be different on Facebook to the name that they're using on Instagram. So if it's different, it just won't tag anybody. So you just need to be aware of that. what else have I got on there? And I think that is ready to go. So you just press on the bottom left-hand corner and off it goes up into my stories, and you'll see there's now a little ring around my story, my profile face, to say that there is a story there. And I think the other, lots of excitement. The other thing to think about with stories is because they're on that top line when people go into their Instagram, they are more accessible. And when you open up one story, it automatically rolls into the next one and rolls into the next one and rolls into the next one. So you can, it's all about, Instagram wants you to keep people on the platform as long as you can. And the longer you can keep them on the platform, the more they reward you by showing your post to more people. So if you can keep them on this platform, then, you know, all the better. So text shortener. Oh, what I didn't mention was Canva. So if you're worrying about images, give you a little light there. If you are worrying about images and you're thinking, I just don't know where to get all these images from, start getting into a habit of taking pictures all the time. But also, if you're really stuck, use Canva. If you haven't used Canva before, it's Canva. Google it. There's loads in there. So I think with that, I'm going to stop. I hope I haven't caused anyone to think, oh my God, what's going on? Hopefully you're enjoying what you've seen. But what I would like to ask now is, has anybody used stories yet? And if so, how often do you post? Ideally, they're saying, you know, 3 times a week would be good. If you can do more than that, then do more than that. But we have to remember, we are trying to balance our business, aren't we? The whole point of social is for us to try and reach a new audience, but we don't want to be spending every living moment on it. So that's the key. And this is vitally important. This is social media, not broadcast media. Don't post and run. The whole idea about social media is that you are engaging with other people on the platform. You want to be engaging with your potential clients, but there may also be complementary businesses that you work with. And this is This Best Life, who I've recently done some work with, as well as Sandy. So think about sharing what you can, because the more you share other people's, it gives other people a reason to share your stuff. You know, it's that whole supporting each other. If you just post and run, people are going to think, well, why am I going to like her stuff or his stuff? Because they're just out there posting and running, and they're never sharing mine. So what would be really interesting to know was, what obstacles do you face when using Instagram for your business? Because it's often a time factor, or, you know, whatever it is. But hopefully I have given you an idea of how you can save some time putting these things together. Using the text shortener is a wonderful time saver to me, and using that link tree means you don't have to go around to all of your different platforms. I didn't get around to showing you that, did I? Have I got time? Let me just see. 1:15. I just about have. Let me just give you a quick, what I should have done while I was on here. Stop share, and I'll go back to my phone. Okay, so if I go back to, is it not coming on? There we are. Okay, back to home, so that you've got the bio, and you will see here is my link tree just in the middle. So I've used that as my link, and this is just what it looks like. So it's worth, do you see how many links you can put on? I mean, you can go on. So, but it just means if you want somebody, I mean, I like people to go through and read my blog. I've got my training program. I've got various downloadable tips, and I've got the website, and connect with me on LinkedIn. So it's just a few of the examples of things that you can use on Linktree, but it's really helpful to know that you only need to be updating the one thing, really. So just as we are getting towards the end, so you've seen how to create a simple post. So in my 5-week group training, we go in much deeper and we work in how you can tap into the holy grail of customer engagement, because we all want to be speaking to our customers, don't we? So we've just looked at a little bit of what we can achieve. Video is fantastic. If you can start using video, that is brilliant. So the good news, in less than 6 weeks, you could be crazily confident in posting and engaging for your business. Perhaps you've thought about hiring a social media manager at upwards of £500 a month. That's going to be quite hefty for a lot of particularly new businesses, and the businesses I speak to just don't have that kind of money around. And, you know, that works out as £6,000 a year. I don't know what that is in dollars. I should have worked that out. But, you know, maybe it's more that you're struggling. You don't trust anyone to do it for you, and you want to be doing it yourself. You know the message you want to put out, and you know what you want to be saying. So investing in yourself, this empowers you to create the business that you want to create. So I've spent a lot of time consuming lots of tutorials. I've been to lots of workshops. So I have taken that time. I listen to podcasts all the time. I have consumed so much to let me know how I can help you going forward. So we know it's easier to learn in a group setting. We get insight, don't we? We can share, we can feel comfortable when we're surrounded with a group. And, you know, everybody's going through such similar things. So I've got this program. It's a group training program for 5 weeks. We meet for an hour's tutorial. It's not 11 a.m. Actually, it's 1 p.m. I should have changed that. So we can put all of these learnings into place. So we go in a deeper dive into Instagram so that you can learn so much more. We also have a private Facebook group so you can share with each other. And if you wanted to practice something and think, oh, I don't know about this, what do you want to, would this be a good option or would that be a good option? You can try things out and feel like you're in a safe environment. On the Thursdays of each of those 5 weeks, I do a Q&A session. So again, this is all recorded. So if you can't make the specific time, then you can catch up with that later on. And it just gives you an opportunity to, you've practiced some of it, you've tried and seen. And if there are things that you still have questions about, we can look at those on the Thursday. So these are the things that we plan to cover. So setting up your page with the relevant bio, handle, links, and images, because the images are all important. We are on Instagram. How to create engaging posts in your feed. We'll look maybe a bit closer at the marketing messages that you need that are specific for your business. We'll look at the power of direct messages. This is such a biggie. We really need to know how to be getting that one-to-one engagement. And because we're all online, it makes it easy. We're not having to go meeting people all over the place. We can do so much, and you can make sales in the direct messages. And then in the last week, we'll look at an overview of the all of the Instagram elements and thinking about repurposing your content, because we don't want to be doing the same thing over and over. And you know, why not use what you've got and then break it down into smaller chunks to use in different places. So we thought about before, this is the investment for 5 weeks, £395. So are you still thinking about hiring a social media manager? Remember, at that cost, is that something that your business can do at the moment? If it is, then that's brilliant. And a load of people will be very happy to have that taken off their shoulders. But if you would like to invest in yourself, then think about joining me. The whole point of this is you can see how I work. You'll see if I'm the right kind of fit for you. I won't be the right fit for everybody. I know that. And I think it's easier if you can see how somebody works. So I have an early bird investment of £295. That is if it's purchased by Saturday. I will be putting the link in the chat very, very shortly. So imagine, how would it feel if you didn't have to worry about it anymore? You felt confident about what you were putting out. You could start engaging with your customers in only 5 weeks. And yes, there is more. I will be putting a bonus video together with some of the tools. We talked about Canva. I use Creator Studio. There are some apps that are brilliant to use in stories that I will be doing a video on that you can have as well. So question is, would you like to join me? I'd like to take you on this journey in only 5 weeks, and that is entirely up to you, clearly. And there is the investment at 295. But there is more. For the first 5 of you to sign up, I will gift a 1-to-1 hour of coaching on your Instagram strategy. This was such an eye-opener for the guys on the previous course, and it was lovely for me as well to be able to dive deeper. And just to let you know, I have got a sign up already, so there are only 4 of those left. So those are my contact details if you would like them. This is the course along the bottom, but being a PDF, of course, it won't come off there. So I think what I'd like to do now is go to the chat and answer any questions that anyone may have. Let me just move that out of the way because it's not letting me stop share. Okay, so 97 comments. This might take a little while. What I will do though is, let me just see, I think there is the link. I'll pop that in the comments there. So shall I start right at the beginning? Let's see, what are we doing? Okay, we barely. Okay, Alan, hello, long time no see. Hotels. Oh, you've been through a bit of a tough time, I'm sure. I suspect you've probably been looking after some of the hospital staff. Independent occupational therapist. Ooh, lots. Oh, Canary Islands. How exciting. Online training. Okay. So, Ellie, hi, how are you? Using the feed and stories. Okay. Oh, okay. Kate Jackson. So you're not using it yet. So that's there's quite a bit to go through. On the feed of the 4 profiles. Never use stories. No, well, stories are really worth their weight, because you can have those conversations. So that's the thing that you need to be. Reels by accident. I love that. How did you do it by accident? Because it's I have to say the Reels part of the app is not the easiest bit to use. A lot of people will make their Reels in another app and then just bring them over because they're just so difficult. It's a bit of a glitchy system. Let's see, website developer. Well done. Ooh, Mississippi. Goodness me. 6 posts in my feed, just getting started. Well, Sandy, we'll sort that out, won't we? Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate you joining me. Bits and pieces. Just chucked on some dyslexia award photos. Well, I believe you're joining me next week as well, Ellie. So I look forward to working with you on that. Website geek, I let my social media die a slow death. Oh, we'll get that moving. Okay. I'm Lucy. I work from home instead. Provide care. Ah, yes. I think I might have heard one of your, is it Joanna? I'm trying to remember the name now. Can you have more than one account on Instagram? Yes, you can. I manage several accounts on my phone, and you just switch between them. The main thing you need to remember is you're using it for business. It has to be a business. Well, it doesn't have to be, but if you want to get access to the insights, you want it to be a business account. So if you want to be able to see who's followed, the type of people who follow, split male, female, the same kind of insights that you see on Facebook, but not in quite so much detail, but it's worth having those. Yeah. Oh, Leslie's already answered you. Ruth. Hi, Ruth. How are you? We need to put it out, set up account. Okay. CV, reviews, writing, proofreading. Okay. Branded hotel with many locations. You say that's the issue. I'm trying to remember what the question might have been. Made by Sally Jane, personalized standard greeting cards. Oh, lovely. So are you selling into gift shops, or are you selling directly? That would be interesting to know. How do you edit bio? Yeah, I don't know if I've quite got time to go through that bit, but there is let's see if we can just quickly jump in, and I will come back to the questions. Hopefully they will stay at that place. Okay, share. Ta-da! Is it going to open? Thinking about it? Yeah. Okay. So just here, when you open your profile, hopefully you should see that where it says edit profile in the middle, and you literally jump in there And then it gives you, so I need to change mine after this because my Get Started with Instagram webinar will have finished. But yes, that's where you do it. It's just simply on there. Okay. And then what else do we have? Aim for 3 to 4 posts a week. Well done. Once a year. Post about twice a week. Great. Not so much lately. Okay. So we've got quite a mix of users. Sandy, me, just one as yet, just started. Okay. Well, if you'd like to start and join along with me, that would be fantastic. Dictation gets interesting with Scottish accent. Does your phone not recognize your accent? Leslie, I hope your phone does recognize your accent. I don't know, maybe you're on, because Siri, I think, you have to speak to it a few times, don't you, before it picks up on whether it's got the right accent. How do you save the hashtags? I am absolutely sure that text shortener or text replacement, it might be called, must be on Android. Is there anyone on the call who's got an Android phone who can say, I'm viewing this from my laptop, so think it's different. Viewing, well, yeah, Instagram is not the easiest thing to use from the laptop, in all honesty. It's easier to use it on the phone. You don't get access to all the little tools and things for the stories. Not heard of text shortener. Well, you have now, so hopefully that will save you lots of time in the future. And you can do that on your laptop as well. So if anyone hasn't used that before, there is a way of doing it on a laptop. I'm on a Mac and I'm pretty sure it was still settings, keyboard. Oh, look, here we are. Google says this. Fantastic, Sally. Thank you. Yeah, good. Oh, no, Beth says. So thank you, Beth, for sorting that out for Sally. Yeah, Google keyboard. Lincoln, Northampton, Bedford, Pepin. WI, Wisconsin, is that? Chicago. Ooh, Telford. Canmore, Alberta. Down the road in Corby. Glasgow. Yes, I think you knew. Where do we connect through? We connected through Alexandra. I've just done her amazing finance course. If anyone needs a finance course. Northampton. Nigeria. Wow, fantastic. Loving the countdown. The countdown, because on Facebook you can put an event on. You can't really do that in the same way on Instagram, but you can. If you use the countdown sticker and you put it in your stories and somebody likes your story, then they get a reminder when the countdown is running down. You also get a reminder to use it again in your story. So do think about that. Not used it yet. Is that probably referring to Canva? Have used stories but fell off for a while. You mentioned replay. How do we get access? I'm so sorry that beginning bit didn't work. So, but we got all of the workshopy bit on the phone. So I don't know what happened there because I thought I'd set it up to record automatically. Replay. I will send it through to you. Need to go through slower. It's absolutely fine. It's just trying to pack as much as I can into an hour, really, because I want to make it value packed. You've given up your time and I want to give you value back in return. Yeah, lots of people went through it again, so that's fine. I will send it through on the email that you provided on Eventbrite. 3 to 5 times a week. Canva upgraded. Yeah, I have upgraded to the pro version of Canva, but that's really because I'm looking after several accounts as well, and it has been worth it. It's worth it just to do your transparent logo that you can put on pictures as well. Have an antique phone. Just getting all this together, understanding. Will you be emailing us the link? Yes. Yes. How I hid the text. Yes, with the color dropper. That's amazing. I love the color dropper. I apologize for going too fast. But as I say, you will be able to watch it back. Can I have a page on my own website that will do that? Can't I have a page that will do that for me? I think that some of the websites, what did I see? I'm on a Squarespace website, and I have a feeling that they have just brought in something similar to Linktree. I haven't investigated because I've got Linktree set up already and I can't be bothered to change because I'm kind of, you know, it's there and why change it? But there are other things as well. Linktree is not the only one, but it's the one I know. You can have a page on your website, But if you want somebody to click through very quickly, or perhaps you're wanting them to sign up so that you can repeatedly contact them, because people will sign up if you're offering them something good. You know, I've done my free downloads and they sign up and I send them my blog every week. So that brings them back to my website. So, you know, it's up to you what you'd like to do. Lee, you had an Insta account already. Brilliant, brilliant. Oh, I am looking forward to working with you. It's a lot of dollars. Yes, I hope you're referring to the 6,000 a year. Yes, Beth, not charge enough quite. Can you remind me of the time and dates of the 5 weeks? It is Tuesdays at 1 p.m. starting next week. We start next week, 6th of April, and Thursdays at 1 p.m. as well. But they are recorded, so if you can't make it, and if you have any questions in between times, you can always put them in the Facebook group and I can make sure I address them so that when we go through Q&A and stuff, it's all recorded. So yeah, that's that. Yes, early bird price ends the 3rd. Yasmin, thank you. Lovely to see you on here. Really helpful, great tips. Indeed, many key workers stayed over. Yes, I thought that might have been the case, Alan. Yeah, not long, not long to go. I'll have to come over. It's not that far away. What app do you recommend to repost? I'm not great with those. I tend to share them on stories if I'm reposting and then tag the person so they get credit and say thank you for the picture. It's often worth getting in touch with them. There are various ones out there, but I'm not especially happy with any of them, to be honest. I have gremlinitis, so getting into a real situation was fleeting but interesting. Oh, gotta run. Lovely. Thank you. I've learned so much in the last hour. Thank you, Ruth. Oh, thank you. You sell to everyone via Etsy. So that means you don't have your own website then, I suppose, which is because Etsy is like another form of social media in a way, isn't it? So but it might be worth having if you have your link tree, you may have one already, having your Etsy link, but also having a sign up to hear my latest or see my latest images. And you could maybe do a little newsletter once a week or once a fortnight, once a month or something like that. I love getting a sale via a DM too. Just changing to a professional account now. There you go. So chuffed I've discovered business account. Yes. How to delete on the stories, i.e. ask me a question. If you've put something on there that you don't like, you slide it with your finger down to the bottom of the screen and a little bin appears, a little trash bin appears, and you just slide it into there and whoosh, it's gone. So any mistakes you make, just pop it in there and they're gone. And then you just, restart. Adios from Spain.